Very often, because of the compulsive nature of the sexual drive, you're going to see more and more cases come out. It's very rarely, if ever, the case that it's ever going to be a one-off. But often the women who are the victims of the particular case think it's just once, it's just happened to me. And we also know from the personality profile of these predators, they're Machiavellian, they're narcissistic, they're psychopathic. There's a cluster of personality features where they make the women think to themselves, maybe it was something about me, given this man is so charming and intelligent and such a pillar of society. Maybe it was something about me that led to the attack. And if I could disagree with one of the panelists, I think actually the more that women can be encouraged to come forward and be brave enough to actually be not anonymous, the more they will normalize this situation in terms of people coming forward and leveling the accusation, because we need that. We need the publicity so that women who have been scared to come forward in the past will do so in the future, because we need to think hard about what's happening in France. Is it something about the social climate of France or the legal climate where it looks like women seem so far on the evidence to be more afraid of coming forward?
Virginie, you host for our French language channel, the Women's Affairs show, and is there something French about coming forward or not coming forward?
Yes, well, there are different points. First of all, I would say that in France, generally, there is no culture of denunciation, or people in sexual harassment cases, but other cases too, are very cautious about denouncing somebody else if he's in a dominant position. And this is due to the fact too that even when accusations are very clear, most of the time the person is not fired. Is it in cases of sexual harassment or not? So most women wouldn't dare to say something. And even, for example, concerning sexual harassment in France, now the movement Me Too, Balance ton port, in media, for example, there were two men who were suspended. They were suspended. They couldn't come to work anymore. There were bosses in very big media companies. But finally, after several weeks, they came back and they still are working now. So those women who dared maybe to say something finally are in the position that they see that the guy was not punished at all. So
you're saying that France, there's more of a culture of deference than there is in Anglo-Saxon countries, in Nordic
Probably.
countries?
I think that in Anglo-Saxon countries, when there is just an allegation of a scandal, let's say financial scandal or sexual scandal, the person is just put aside because the whole institution doesn't want to be hit by the scandal. In France, it's not the case. It's just that there is the presumption of innocence, and this is the most important. And so this makes that victims in sexual harassment cases or other cases don't dare so easily to name and blame the person.
Marion Duquesne, you agree?
Yes, I do. I think if you see Dominique Strauss-Kahn, for instance, the whole of the media and all the political class knew that he was a sexual predator for decades, and nobody ever said anything, because I think we have this notion of privacy in France and of private lives that don't concern us outside of the family. So I absolutely agree, it's true, and you can see that in France people are less likely to resign or to be put aside than other countries. If you look at our minister, whether he is innocent or not, that is not the question.
We'll talk about the Minister of Public...
Yes.
Darmanin.